Hotep family. Today is February 1st. This is the start of what America has thrown at us as the beginning of Black History Month. The shortest and the coldest month of the year thrown at Black people as a token of I don't know what. But this is supposed to be the month that we concentrate on the history of Black people. However, how many Black people actually know anything about Black people prior to 400 years ago? We are the oldest people on the planet, over 3 million years old. So if your history goes back 3 million years, why do you only concentrate on the last 400 years? 400 years that began with enslavement, rape, murder, theft. That's where you start. This is where most Black people concentrate. Yes, we talk about Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, Wilma Rudolph. We talk about the first Black president, supposedly, when there actually was more than one. We don't talk about anything prior to roughly 1600 AD. Strange, isn't it? The Caucasian, when he's celebrating his history, he'll go back to ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Those civilizations civilized the world, which is a lie. The ancient Greeks, who were actually Macedonians, all said in their writings that they owed everything that they had to the land that they called Egypt. Actually, the name of that land is Kemet. The Romans took everything that they had from the Greeks. So in essence, the Romans took everything that they had from those ancient Kemetiu, people that you call Egyptians. But they don't say that when they're giving you their history classes. They'll tell you about Roman art and Grecian art and all that shit, but they won't tell you that everything that you're looking at, other than the homosexual references, those Greeks and Romans stole from Africa. And still, you will think that they are honoring you by throwing you the shortest month and the coldest month in the year. You're people that come from the sun, from warm climate. Why should your history be celebrated during the coldest month of the year? That's pretty much like spitting in your face again. So on this first day of Black History Month, I'm daring you Black people not to call it his story. Start calling it our story. And start researching it in a way that you go beyond those 400 years of enslavement, oppression, and lies. Instead of posting about Harriet Tubman, I'm not to say not to post about Harriet Tubman, but why not post about Queen Tiye or Queen Hatshepsut? Who? Mansa Musa? Yes. Talk about him, but Mansa Musa once again is but that once again that's after the enslavement period. Right? Yeah, he was to this day still the richest man in the world. But Mansa Musa, because of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage and showing the rest of the world how much money he had, he actually gave away so much gold. He flipped an economy on his ass. But in doing so, he showed those Europeans how much riches Africa had. So after Mansa Musa made his Hajj, the Europeans went over to Africa. Saw this, oh my God, this shit is lovely. I gotta take it. I gotta take it. And they started stealing it. And right. We black people have been coming to this continent that you call North American continent for thousands of years. Thousands. Right. Going back and forth. There's a natural current in the Atlantic Ocean that you can get in a canoe without a paddle, and you will make a circuit from the western coast of Africa to roughly around the eastern coast of Florida or into the Gulf of Mexico. You wouldn't have to paddle, and it would naturally take you here. So, fuck them Vikings, right? They weren't the first sea travelers. Yes. Thank you, brother. Thank you. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, the shit that we are taught in schools is meant to enforce their narrative for their oppressive ways so that they can be dominant. Right? If you were lifting 400 pounds, if you were, no, let me say it like this. If you were able to lift 400 pounds, but you didn't know it, but I knew you could lift 400 pounds, am I going to tell you? Because if I told you could lift, right? If I told you could lift 400 pounds, that means that now you know you can whip my ass. No, but I mean, think about it. If you knew I could lift 400 pounds, you know, oh, this man can't lift more than me. I could probably whip his ass if I wanted to. And see, that's the thing about it. If you want to, black people, if you want to quit being oppressed, then you stop it. Right? Talk about the enslavement period. Something Kanye said, and I call him Kanye, something that brother said. Slavery was a choice. He said that. And people jumped all on his ass. Now, as goofy as he is, he's told the truth. If I don't want to be enslaved, if that man right there said, I'm going to put you in chains, and I say no, he can't enslave me. He could kill me. He could beat me. But he can't enslave me. Because I'm not allowing him to. Black people have always been a majority everywhere on the planet, except for the Caucasus Mountains. If black people stood up in total, not under black man, black woman, black Democrat, black Christian, black Muslim, but under the banner of black, and came together under the banner of black, we would have never been enslaved. Ever. Unified thought brings about unified action. Yes? But the thing about it is, how can you unify your thought if that man is thinking something different than you are? You can never be unified. You're on a different page, exactly. These are common sense things that we don't take into account. You gotta come together. But in order to come together, you have to have a cohesive idea. Some concept that we can all unite under. Every black person is not going to unite under Islam. Every black person is not going to unite under Christianity, nor democracy, Republican, man or woman, right? We're not going to unify as a whole under any one of them. But you know what we can identify with? Black. You know what we can unify under? Black. Because black began every definition or description that I gave. Black Republican, black Democrat, black Christian, black Muslim. Black is the first word. So if black is the first word that you identified as, find out what truly black means, what black is, and what black does. And then do it. See what I'm wearing? In 2 weeks, there's a pilgrimage to Egypt. I call it, I want to use the word that our ancestors named it, Kemet. I I was supposed to go. Due to financial reasons, me fucking up, I'm not gonna be able to make that 10-day trip. Beautiful, beautiful trip. All right. The irony of it is that I had started buying clothes for me to wear there, like this. But since I'm not going to Kemet, I'm not gonna be wearing it, Kemet. Should I not wear it? Even though the purpose of me buying this, and I paid almost $100 for this mud cloth. The purpose for me wearing it now is because I should be wearing it now. All right, I should be wearing it every day. All right, this brother across from me, nice blazer, right? I'm not criticizing anybody's clothing, but here's the thing: because we don't know much of shit about this, he'll never wear this. He'll wear that because that's all he knows about.
I got that too.
Huh?
I have that too. Mud cloth, thick cloth.
Okay.
I'm just raised as a black nationalist.
Really? Congratulations. So do you know about
15 seconds.
anything prior to the last 400 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned a lot about it. I know a lot about the Kemetic occultic sciences.
Wonderful.
A lot about black nationalists, even like sidebar, like sub-Saharan Sudanese. My father's from Dakar, from Senegal.
Really?
So I was raised kind of a little different.
Yes.
Yeah, him, Ashraf Kwesi.
Yes, sir.
Is a master teacher.
Master teacher.
Ben,
Dr. Yusuf Ben Yochanan.
Yeah.
Ivan Van Sertima and Dr. Runoko Rashid.
Runoko, yeah. He did a lot of good work with the Caribbean ex-slaves.
Yes.
Rashidi.
Let me ask you a question, brother. Do you share that knowledge?
Yeah. I used to do it a lot, but it was a detriment to myself.
How?
That was my whole life. I was doing festivals, talking, speeches, debates, but
I'm videoing this, but you're not gonna be on the video.
no, that's all right. It don't really pan out to what you would expect it to. It's like you always hear about like putting parable in front of swine. They won't be able to consume and understand what you're talking about. Even
Right.
if you start with the basics, like with the knowledge, you have to start real low on the spiritual understanding. Like we got to clean up our spirits before we can even start to use the knowledge. Because if I give you all the knowledge in the world with a negative spirit, you would use it for evil.
True.
And I found that with myself. Once I started getting into the sciences and realizing the power I had,
Right.
like you would think you got it all figured out on a conscious level, but
Yes.
once you get that power really,
Yes.
and you start doing stuff, it's easy to be swayed and go a negative route because you programmed for that. Like they did
Do
a
you
real
think
good
that
job of.
do you think it's your ego that rises and it becomes?
Well, it's just a false sense of ego. You
Yes.
don't really know who
Yes.
you are. So the ego you have is
Take care, sir.
a manufactured ego.
Yes.
Yeah, it's they did a real good job over that time. The code of slavery did a pretty good job of rinsing us of any knowledge of who we were.
Especially on these shores.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about it, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Think about, since you were raised in African knowledge, you know that the brainwashing didn't start just 400 years ago.
No.
It started thousands of years ago.
Yeah, for 1,200 years we were under Islamic slavery
Yes,
as well.
yes.
And even just
Before that-
prisoners of war.
Before that was
in Africa, they had a lot of prisoners of war going on, and our own enslavement, our own through that.
yes,
So it was a lot going on. The Pope had a handful of slaves
Yes.
from Magellan traveling around South Africa.
right.
He took slaves
Starting
back
with
to
the
Pope.
Portuguese.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep. That's actually where the idea came from.
yes.
From the
So
Pope.
thousands of years
Yeah.
of brainwashing.
Yep.
That brainwashing logically can't be erased by just a few hundred years of trying to
Yeah.
erase it.
Yep.
One thing that physics tells us, every force has an equal and opposing
Yeah.
opposite.
Yep.
All right. So if they use the ungodly effort
Yep.
to rid you of your God self, it's going to take an even more godly effort to bring it back.
Yeah.
Therefore, don't stop, brother.
Yeah.
Don't listen, man. Our people are sick.
No, I
All right?
know.
If you're sick, say with flu, you're supposed to take that medication until the sickness is over with. You don't just take it once and say, okay.
Yeah.
You have to. You are a light worker. If you want to be, right? It's all about choice.
Yeah.
All right. Because you have that knowledge, and you're going to be ostracized as you were.
Yeah.
You're going to be vilified as you were, just like me.
Yeah.
You don't stop though.
Yeah, I shifted a little bit to focusing solely on my family. Like,
Okay.
so now, like, implementing dietary habits
Yes.
for my extended family, business ventures for my extended family.
Okay.
Instead of focusing on, like, community in the world, like, I was traveling. I've been LA, San Diego, North Carolina. I've been a lot of places, whether Kumbh Fest, African Fest here, just a bunch of stuff. Think tanks, Dr. Paul Anderson with the Harvest Institute.
Yes.
I worked with them on economic advancement for the marine life down in New Orleans.
New Orleans, right?
After Katrina,
Which was a huge travesty.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
They'll never recover from that.
When you, we know it. In this land, New Orleans would be sort of like our comparison to Kemet.
Yes.
With the Mississippi being like the Nile,
Right.
And you still got your Memphises, St. Louis that run
Exactly.
up under it, and even you run along the Mississippi, you got Cairo and the whole bunch of shit.
Yes. Little Egypt.
Yep.
That's because our ancestors been coming here since Ursa Ma'arak, the one they call Ramesses.
Yep. Since Ramses II.
Yes. So
we've been catching what they call. I heard you talking about it, that transatlantic monsoon.
yes.
That travels
Yes.
east and west.
Yes.
Yep. Down to Gulf and over to that western coast.
Here's the thing. You likened New Orleans to Kemet.
Yeah.
Okay, because the Nile, Kemet was at the end of the Nile, because the Nile flowed from up south down north.
Yeah.
All right. Chicago actually is more akin to Kemet in its power,
Yeah.
in its spiritual power.
I agree with that.
The thing is that whereas Kemet was at the end of the Hopi River, receiving all of that great richness and culture and nutrition,
Yeah.
Chicago being at the beginning of the Mississippi,
Yeah.
we should be feeding.
Yeah. It was who was it? I forget who it was. Said Chicago would be the second great growth of consciousness after New York hit it.
Yes.
With the 5%ers and NOI, FOI.
Yeah. Well, look who you had here. You had Dr. Delbert Blair here.
Yeah. That
Right.
man. That's a man. Delbert Blair is like, man. That's
Brother, I lived in Chicago. I'm 6 years old.
Yeah,
Lived in the city.
I remember when Dr. Delbert Blair died. That was a big deal for my father.
Yeah. Goddamn it.
Yeah.
The Kemetic Institute, and I'm seeing his face.
What's
Wrote
that?
the Intellectual Warfare. Shit.
It ain't
Jacob Carruthers.
Jacob Carruthers.
Jacob Carruthers was here. Walter Williams
Walter Williams.
is still here. He's still living.
He out here?
Yes, he lives in Chicago. Wrote the.
The last I seen, he did a lecture about how they was factoring the astronomy down to almost the precise. They was off by like less than a meter
Yes.
for the constellational systems.
Yes.
When he did a lecture on I want to say it was the Mali people, the Dogon tribe.
We've had Dr. Francis Cress Welsing from Chicago.
Yeah.
John Jackson,
Yeah.
Chicago. We've had great black scholars, teachers here.
Yeah.
But if you don't know about them, you'll
Yeah.
never access that knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying to you, young man, young brother.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Every now and then, I'm not I'm not saying be like a street corner announcer.
I was. That's what I was. And actually, man,
you're a warrior, man.
It was so much like fulfillment in that. And then I was moving real fast in what I was doing because I'm real articulate with how I speak.
Yes, sir.
The knowledge came natural because I learned it from a kid up.
Yes.
So it was like, it was a lot easier for me to get into. I didn't have to like go off and really dive into re-educating so much as some other people would have to.
Exactly, like me. I became conscious after 44.
Yeah, and it was like for me, like even though having my parents under that, like I've never eaten pork in my life and stuff like that I understood like the sciences of my body young because of what my dad taught me, and but even in that like Western African form of Islam I was raised under, it had its ills too.
Very much
that
so.
I had to re-educate myself on and understanding.
Well, it's a religion.
Yeah.
All religions are false.
Yep. Understanding the dogma of religion.
Yes.
And that's when I got into really understanding like the Book of Enoch and the Gilgamesh.
Yes.
The tablets and really understanding Tahuti as my governing intellectual power.
Ashe.
Out of Kemet. Yeah.
Ashe, that's beautiful.
That's why I named my daughter Ashe.
That's beautiful, man. Because when you mention Tahuti, all right, you use the proper name.
Yeah, I don't call them the Greek word like Thoth.
Thoth, right?
It's like my initial training was under in the priesthood of Aset and Osiris.
No shit.
Osiris Aset, yeah. When I first got conscious, I was at a rally and I was getting ready to get in the car, and who I call my spiritual mother, Mahmoud, she approached me, and it was me and another guy, and she started talking to me like she knew me. And it kind of fucked me up, and she was talking to me about like when a student ready to teach her, find them, and all this other stuff. And I was like, man, she tripping. And I read the book she gave me, and I called her, and I went out to Cincinnati, and I had met up with her, and started learning. We went through a bunch of stuff out there, and it was like starting over at preschool almost. Like she broke down the schooling system in its real four patterns: elementary, middle, high, and university.
Yes.
And that's when we kicked it off. So I started learning like 23 elements of the human body. The food of the gods, Theobrahma, the Ceylons, and all of the vitamins and minerals. I gave up meat, dairy, everything completely.
Went totally vegan.
Yep. I did that for like 10 years. I introduced dairy back into my diet based on my A-positive blood type in small quantities, just so I don't become intolerant to it.
Yes.
I want to be able to, if I have to.
If you have to, right.
Yep. Got into gardening and things like that. So it was a lot I learned
you get ready to get off, brother.
I learned about Moana Ashby.
I'm going to give you something.
Yeah.
38th Street.
You since you are a reader.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a work of fiction,
Standing company.
that's the novel that I wrote. I published it 3 years ago. Oh, it's a novel. It's 500-something pages, but you see the font is small.
Yeah.
I was my first time publishing. I didn't have the money to hire a proofreader or an editor.
A book I call like my little Bible outside of like the ancient works is by a guy called T.C. Carrier. He recently published too, like he started in the late 90s, but he published The Secret Science of Black Male and Female. And that's like my Bible, man. I read it because it goes through a bunch of different things, whether frequency or history, the diet, it goes through a lot.
Take care of yourself, brother.
All right, man.
I'm glad to meet you, man.
Same here.
Yeah. All right, so back to this video. And for those who have purchased my book, I greatly appreciate you. However, there are times when I have gifted it. And the reason is because, like that young man there, somebody shows a greatness that goes above and beyond. So I
36th Street.
Oh shit! I gotta get this. I was just somebody dropped this on the floor of the bus. A tactical book bag, and considering the book bag that I have is falling apart, I'm damn sure gonna get this one.
35th Street.
I got to get it. It's a book bag that it's a book bag that you can wear. Looks like you can wear it like a bulletproof vest. So I'm gonna keep this information so when I have some monies, I can get it. But getting back to where I was at, which I have forgotten.